What up, my homies? This is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and I'm bringing you a deck review of the Osho Zen Tarot. And this was my very first working deck. So I had a deck before this. I forget the name of the deck now. Spiritual Journey or Fantasy. I don't know. It was a deck I got from Barnes and Noble, and I just never connected with it. And it would be in my bookshelf. It would come off the bookshelf. I'd put it back in the bookshelf. And actually, I was a little afraid of it, and so I had put away tarot for actually many years. And then one day I just got like a hair up my butt, and I was just like, you know what, I need a new tarot deck. So I gave away the old tarot deck. Ended up purchasing the Osho Zen from my local metaphysical shop, which actually is right next to my favorite Mexican shop, which is Albert's Mexican Food. And got the bomb burritos. I love my bean and cheese burritos and my breakfast burritos and all of that. And then once I had this, it was like the tarot doors opened, and all of a sudden I had a deep connection with tarot, and that's where my journey began, is with this deck. And so I actually had to work backwards. So, because I learned this deck first, I had to see how that translated to the Rider-Waite-Smith, because I didn't understand the Rider-Waite-Smith. And so once I understood that one, I could make connections between the two. But this was always like my deck that I compared everything else with. So, okay, so it's a big box. Make sure you guys can see this clearly. St. Martin's Press. And funny enough, my old elementary school, St. Martin's of Tours Academy, is not far from where I purchased this. Okay, the illustrations are from Madhava Padma and printed in Belgium. It says that it is the transcendental game of Zen. And I think to get past certain laws and things like that, I think you have to pass tarot off as entertainment or a game, Okay, so it's got this nice pull-out, and I keep my cards in here because they are nice and safe, and it is a substantial, box. So it has this beautiful book, and I highly recommend, at least giving a flip through of books that I've had time and money spent on them. So here you see like some of my notes for when I was first learning. So you got your introduction, a little bit about your major arcana, your minor arcana, and then okay, so it has some commentary of what the card may mean, and then a little bit more in-depth information about what it means to be that card. Okay, so there you go. Going through your majors to your minors, and it has a certain symbol, like for Knight of Fire, Knight of Wands is facing this direction, and for the page it's facing the other direction. It would be facing another direction for King and for Queen. Okay, so I believe it goes through the court cards first, and then it goes into like the other parts of the minor arcana. Okay, and then it goes into some spreads that you might be interested in. Quite a lot of spreads, actually. And then the Glossary of Symbols that you might come across within the cards, and a little bit about the author. Okay, so Osho teaching. And the International Meditation Resort. Actually at first, I thought this was, maybe it is, my old college, because my old college campus has a big blue pyramid. I went to Long Beach State University, and although we were the 49ers, we had a giant blue pyramid, and in the blue pyramid is where we had our volleyball games and our basketball games. It was the gym. And then you had like the frogs weightlifting complex in there as well. And since I was an NC2A athlete, I had free access to Frog's gym, although we already had our own gym, you know, as athletes. But I don't know, side note. Okay. And so there you have it. So, you know, when you get the deck, definitely give the book a look through. And I don't know if you guys like my beautiful spread cloth. My boyfriend actually got me a couple of these sarongs from his trip to Hawaii. He got to hang out with his best friend. I mean, he was doing some work over there for his friend, but, you know, it's Hawaii. You have fun too. Okay. So these are the backings. And they're not quite reversible. Obviously, you got, you know, this red splotch over here. So if it was down here at the bottom, now the red splotch is down here instead of up here. So I don't think they're quite reversible, really. And as far as tarot cards go, I'd say they're a little wider and a little shorter. But you know, obviously not very big. Yeah, so if you look at the palm of my hand, and I have average size hands. I mean, I'm 5'8", so just kind of average size. Okay. And the cardstock is, I don't know, I would say your average cardstock. It's enough to be shuffly and bendy, but it's not, you know, too thin. It's not too thick. As Goldilocks would say, it is just right. So let's look at our cards. And so everything has been renamed, you know, if it's the major arcana, and then here you have the Seven of Rainbows, which is like your pentacles, and it has a keyword that goes with it. So if you remember the Rider-Waite-Smith Seven of Pentacles, you have a gentleman with a shovel, and he's overlooking his tree that has, you know, the different little pentacles in it, and he's patiently waiting. So same for here, except the woman, you know, here you have the patience of the moon phases, plus she's pregnant, and so, you know, and all of this floral activity going on around her, everything that takes time. So I love the artwork. This is what started me on my spiritual journey, and I haven't turned back since. I'm very happy with where I am, and I like where I'm going. You know, so many spiritual doors have opened up for me. I've learned so much about myself and my surroundings, and it all started with one deck. And if, you know, don't want to wish any bad luck, but if there were a fire and I lost all my other decks and this is the only one I had left, I'd be okay. You know, this is like an old friend, so I bust him out every now and then. And I will show all the cards, so if you're not cool with that, then just fast forward and I'll see you at the end. I mean, how pretty is that? So it's a very Buddhist, very Zen, you know, reading with the esoteric, a little bit Rider-Waite-Smithy, a little bit different point of view, and I like it. And I like that I didn't start on a traditional RWS deck. I like that I started on this, and I think that it helped me. I like the no-thingness. And this used to come up a lot for me when I was reading with this deck more often. Actually, I should place this on my nightstand again. And here you have Osho. And you can tell, like, it has been loved. So just a little bit of chipping and wear on the edges, but I've used it quite a bit, so it's well loved. It's a well loved deck. I've managed to keep it fairly straight too, since I don't riffle shuffle really at all, except for when I first get decks, and then I give them a cut, and mix them up as best I can. Riffle shuffle them a couple of times just to get them nice and mixed, and then after that it's all slide shuffle. Like the clouds. So you got the blue, that's your cups suit. And then the gray, which is like clouds, that's your thought. So blue is water, cups, rainbows are pentacles. Red, which is like fire, that's your wands. I used to be afraid to get this card, the Eight of Swords. This is guilt. You know, also where you're in the RWS, it's the girl with the hands tied behind her back and she's blindfolded and she's surrounded by 8 swords. I like this for the Seven of Cups. You know, Seven of Cups, sometimes we always think of as making decisions or dreams, you know, and I like that here it's projections. You know, projecting what you feel onto others. And your last one is awareness. Beautiful. Okay, so let's give it a shuffle so you guys can kind of see what that sounds like. And it's very smooth. It's not shiny, but it's a very buttery smooth deck. Okay, and then if I were to lay them out for you guys, let's say I asked a question. And let's say I was just doing a very simple 3-card spread. You would have flowering, your pentacle suit, and 10 of pentacles, and then you have your 6 of cups. Okay, so and I believe this would be your Queen of Pentacles, by the way. Okay, so there you have it. That is the Osho Zen Tarot. And I think I heard from a lot of people that this was their first deck. So let me know if it was yours, or if you have this deck, or if you have any questions about this deck. Just let me know in the comment section below. And if you would like me to use this deck specifically in a reading that you hook up with me, then just let me know that too. Okay. Oops, I forgot to put the book away. So there you have it. That is the Osho Zen Tarot. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, click subscribe, all that goodness. Check out the information box below for more information on where to get this deck. And I will catch y'all later. All right, peace out.